Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other updates about Z-World. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Rambo warned Rhea to stop telling him bad things about Prachi, and Pragya was successful in proving Abhi innocent at the court, and the judge gave Abhi bail out of prison. Let's continue. Gaurav tells Mahesh that his life is changed 360 degrees. Her husband is behind the bars and I am outside. He asks his dad to enjoy his victory. Mahesh says Aliyah has come here and said that you have cheated her. Gaurav says Aliyah will be quiet. I have shown their value, to one by sending to jail and to the other by bringing on the road. He says I am getting Aliyah's call and he ends the call. Tanu asks Gaurav to give them their money. Aliyah says my brother is in the jail due to you. Gaurav says your brother is in jail due to his bad deeds and asks them not to talk like illiterate, else he will block them and then they shall shout on the road. He asks them to talk with manners. Tanu says I had doubt on you. Gaurav says Tanu can test the persons. Aliyah says I don't need money. I just need the proof to bring my brother out. Gaurav refuses to give her share from Pragya's property and also he will not give her proofs. Abhi is coming to Aliyah. Aliyah says you have cheated us. Gaurav says I agree to your sayings and you thought that I am working as per your plan. He says I made your own medicine taste by you. Aliyah asks him to give her proofs. Gaurav asks why are you pleading for Pragya? Aliyah says she is pleading for her brother. Tanu says why are you pleading and says that he shall give us our share. He says it was my action, my proofs and my plan and you want your share? I have done everything. Aliyah says if I haven't convinced Pragya, then she wouldn't have given you her property. Tanu says you have betrayed Pragya and both of us. Gaurav says if he had not talked, then also Pragya would have given me her property. He says just 30 minutes left. I will sell Pragya's property and I will leave from India. Tanu says you don't know us. When we haven't left Pragya, then we will not leave you. She says she cannot think that we cannot do anything with you. She says the Pragya whom you think so strong, we haven't left her. Then who are you? Gaurav says you might have gotten her beaten up, etc. Tanu says we got Pragya's car brake failed and created so many doubts in her mind that she feels that her husband got the car brake failed and says we created so many doubts that Pragya trusted that Abhi tried to kill her. She says we had almost killed her and we will do the same thing with you. Gaurav says I am Gaurav Tapa and I am not scared of your threat. He ends the call. Aliyah turns and sees Abhi standing behind them. Rambo says you have all these things in your heart still and says I thought you have moved on. Rhea says yes, we both are married now. Rambo says you said that. Rhea says I just said that how much I love you. I never said that I want to get you. She sleeps intentionally and Rambo owes her. Prachi looks at them. Rambo says I helped Rhea. Rhea asks did she ask you? And says this is called trust issues. You both need more love. She goes. Prachi says she has noticed Rhea in the office. She is weird. She says she was staring at you weirdly. Rambo asks, do you think that your husband is getting attracted to someone? Prachi slaps him lightly and says, my husband is a one-woman man. Rambo jokes with her. Prachi hugs him and says, I am feeling strange, just as something is about to happen. Aliyah says, my brother, you have come home. She asks if the court left you. Tanu says, I was telling Aliyah that my prayers were answered. She is about to hug Abhi, but Abhi pushes Tanu away and asks Aliyah not to call him her brother. He says you both shall get punished and asks them to get out and he pushes Aliyah. Tanu asks what did Pragya tell you? Abhi says your heart, your mind and your thought are all corrupted. Aliyah asks what happened. Abhi says I heard whatever you said. How you tried to kill Pragya 2 years back, failed her car brakes, how you used my name to kill her. A flashback is shown. Aliyah recalls Pradeep talking to Pragya in Abhi's voice. Abhi says now I came to know why Pragya did not meet me for 2 years and when she came, she was angry. He says now the truth is out. It cannot be hidden. He says she loves me so much and named all the property on Gaurav's name to save me. He says now I came to know about your truth. Abhi tells Aliyah how she can trap him with Gaurav and Pragya tried to save him and gave everything to Gaurav. Aliyah says I was worried for you. Abhi says Gaurav enmity is better than you. He says you used me so that Gaurav get Pragya's property. He says you put hand rope on my neck and asks why were you born. He says I let you stay here as you said that you will respect Pragya. Aliyah says I will respect her. Abhi says when you don't respect your brother, Why will you respect Pragya? Tanu asks, where will I go? Abhi asks them to go. Tanu says, I am your wife. He thinks of Tanu's confession and he owes Tanu's aunt to throw her out of the house. Abhi pushes Tanu out of the house and asks her not to show her face to him again. He then pushes Aliyah and asks her to leave. Tanu says, we cannot do this. Abhi says, I can do so much, but I don't want to go to jail by killing you, else Pragya's sacrifice will go to waste. Tanu says, I saved you from molestation charges. Abhi says, you saved me so that you can marry me. He says, so that you can trap me. Tanu says, Aliyah said that you had never divorced Pragya. Abhi says, you tried to kill Pragya, but she returned into my life. Aliyah says, I told Tanu that she is doing wrong. Tanu says, you have done big betrayal, and says, Aliyah made me sit in the wedding altar. She brought me home and made me replace Pragya on the wedding altar. She says, Aliyah does the mistake and I get blamed. Abhi says, I am feeling ashamed that I had some relationship with you both. Abhi says, you don't know the meaning of relationship and says relationship is a complete word. Real relation, kumkum relation. He says, though Pragya had hatred for me, she has fulfilled all the relationship, but you both have fulfilled enmity relationship. He says, Pragya's enemy is my enemy. Abhi takes off the wedding necklace from Tanu's neck and says, you have no right to wear this. The one who has the right on this, who has right on me. He says, nobody can separate Pragya from me, not you both. He closes the door. Aliyah asks him to open the door. The buyer comes to Gaurav. The client says that you have said that everything is on Pragya's name. Gaurav says yes. Pragya gets surprised to hear what Sushma said and asks, when did you do this? Sushma says, I was about to tell you on call, but the call got disconnected. Sushma says, I was scared when you let Aliyah and Tanu come into the house. She says, I have signing authorities and that is why I named all the properties on Prachi's name. I did not know that Gaurav is our enemy. She says Prachi's signatures are not on those papers, so you did not lose anything. Pragya says, you did not tell me or anyone. Sushma says he might have known by now. Pragya says you have done a miracle and says what he might be doing after knowing this. Gaurav checks the paper and gets angry. The client leaves. Pragya tells Sushma that life seems to be beautiful. Sushma says, I haven't thought that since Abhi came, everything is changed. She says she is happy for them and wants to give them evil eye. Pragya says, I bought evil eye from EK brand. Sushma says this Diwali will be special. Pragya promote the brand EK. Gaurav thinks that how did Pragya free Abhi? Abhi calls him and says, I asked you to stay away from Pragya. He says you have snatched her everything. Now I will come and punish you. Gaurav tells Abhi the address. Abhi sits in the car and goes. Aliyah hears about the hotel. Tanu says, I am going inside to get our stuff. Rambo asks Prachi to have Kadai. She refuses. He says, you have to drink silently. She says, you are scolding me. He asks her to drink. She says, your scolding is funny than scary. She says, there is no impact in your scolding. He says, I don't like to scold you. She asks him to scold her. Rambo laughs and says, I cannot do this. He says, even kids cannot be scared if I scold them. He says, I just feel love saying you and asking her to drink the Kadai. Prachi tastes it and says it is bitter. She says, I will drink it, but on a condition. She says, if you go for interview, then I will drink all the Kadai. He asks, really? She says, yes. She drinks the Kadai. A song plays in the background. Abhi is on the way. Pragya tells him that she got late in the office and asks him to wait for some time. He says, I will wait for you, and says that he wants to say something. Pragya asks him to say it. He says, when I was a rock star, people used to say that I am lucky, but I used to say that people get famous due to their hard work. He says, then I met you and we got married. Abhi says, then I told people that I got lucky due to you, and who can be more luckier than me? Pragya says, even I wanted to ask you something. She asks, didn't you reach home? He says, I came for some important work. Pragya asks, what work? Abhi says, the mistake is mine. You are always right and I am wrong. She asks, what do you want to say? Pragya says, there is tension in your voice. He says, this is emotions, and says the tension would end. She asks, what happened? Where did you go? He says, I am going for some important work and I will reach home soon. Pragya asks, what is the important work? He asks, can I call you for rice? Pragya gets emotional. He asks her to answer. Pragya says, you have given me this name. I will be for rice always, and it is my identity, and I feel it is better name than Pragya. He calls her 4 eyes and asks her to wait for him, and says your rock star is coming. Pragya says, I love you. Abhi smiles and says, I will reply when I meet you. She says, I will wait for you. Come fast. A song plays in the background. Abhi thinks I could have waited for you, but I wanted to clear the Gaurav's matter, and I don't want anyone to come between us. Sushma comes to Pragya and asks, didn't you go till now? Pragya says he called me for rice today and says she is very happy today. She says she has found herself. Sushma says, I am very happy for you. Pragya says, I want to go home and I want to make this day special for him. She hugs Sushma. Sushma prays to God to keep her happy always and blesses her. Rambro asks Siddharth where is Prachi. Siddharth asks him to bring the walkie-talkie and give one to her. Rambro laughs. Siddharth gives him another idea, asking him to tie them with rope. Rambro says she is coming. I don't need anyone to call her. Prachi comes there and says, I want you to have curd and sugar. Rambro jokes that he made her have kada and she is making him drink curd and sugar. He says if everything is fine, then my 2 years dream will be fulfilled. He thanks her for her prayers and blessings. He kisses her on her cheeks. Siddharth says, I am standing here. Rambro says, I will take you daily with me. Siddharth asks him to make Prachi's idol and wear it. Rambro says, I love you. Prachi says, I love you too. Ria hears them and gets angry. She walks with her bleeding hand and the blood falls on the floor. Gaurav calls Aliyah. Aliyah thinks, what does he need? She says, what do you need? Gaurav says, you were calling me and blaming me that I did not give your share to you. He says you knew well that your brother is freed from the jail and playing games with me. He says you said that I betrayed you. Aliyah says I didn't know then and says bad thing would happen with bad people. Gaurav says Abhi will come home and will throw you out of the house. He says I did not see such sister in the religious serial also. She asks him to shut up and enjoy with the money which he got from Pragya. Tanu steals some things from Pragya's house and thinks that she will sell them. She gets Gaurav's call and picks it. He tells Tanu to tell Aliyah that he will kill her brother. Tanu asks, have you gone mad? Are you talking about killing him? Gaurav says, I want to give this shock to Aliyah. Tanu says, you got what you wanted. Gaurav says, I did not get anything, but Pragya has her wealth and her husband. He says, first I will kill Abhi and then Pragya. Tanu says, I am not shocked hearing you. I don't care if you kill Abhi and Pragya. She says, how can fraud happen with you? And asks him to do it first and then tell her. Tanu says, you don't have courage to kill him. He asks if you don't care for him being his wife. Tanu says, I am not his wife and says that he has kicked me out. I was passing time with him. She says, I will be happy if Abhi dies. I am tired of running behind him. She says, I will be happy to see Abhi dying and taking his last breath. Aliyah hears her and shouted, Tanu. Gaurav says, I will kill Abhi and asks Tanu to come there. Aliyah asks Tanu if she talked about killing Abhi. Tanu says he told me and I agreed. Aliyah says you are encouraging him to kill my brother. Tanu says I cannot see Pragya and Abhi together. She says she has done planning and plotting and even tried to kill Pragya, but she did not die. She says either Abhi die or Pragya. I want to see their love story end. She says Gaurav said that he will kill Abhi and I asked him to kill him. Aliyah slaps Tanu and says she wanted to kill my brother. Tanu slaps Aliyah back. Pragya reaches home and asks Shagun about the candles at home. She says she wants to decorate the house for him. Shagun asks for whom. Pragya thinks of Abhi and their moment and she smiles. Abhi reaches the hotel to meet Gaurav. Pragya hears Aliyah and Tanu fighting. Tanu says it seems sister wants to die before the brother. She tries to suffocate Aliyah. Pragya comes there and asks what happened to you both. Aliyah says Tanu was asking Gaurav to kill my brother. Tanu says Gaurav called me and said that he is going to kill Abhi. Tanu says first he spoke to Aliyah. Aliyah says you have encouraged him to kill my brother. Tanu asks Aliyah to tell Pragya whatever she has done. Pragya looks at both of them in shock. Thank you for watching my videos. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it. Thank you.